Hello, hello. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to get really good at sales. Now, there's really three core things, three things that you want to focus on if you want to continuously improve your skill set. Probably this first one, I'm going to start off really great here because this first one's going to be the most important aspect of it. But just before I jump into that, I'll say most people kind of have it a little wrong, a little backwards when they're trying to learn sales, trying to get good at it. And what I mean by that is they're always constantly thinking, okay, maybe I got to get more word tracks. I got to, find someone who's really good and just copy what they say word for word. I've got to, try to morph myself to be like someone else instead of being genuine and naturally me. It's not really it. Some people think they gotta have the magic words to say when they're objection handling that's gonna always push the person over the line. Not necessarily it, right? Those things all help. They're all good. When used in the wrong way, though, they don't result in you making more sales. They don't result in you becoming a better salesperson. So I'm going to talk about three things that you're going to want to do consistently over and over again with those word tracks and with a few other things I'm going to mention, and approach sales mastery. Starting with the first thing, and again, this is the most important thing. Getting good at sales is about getting better at developing a genuine connection with the person in front of you. You'll do a lot better for your sales career learning about psychology than learning how to, more words to say and handling objections, right? The more you learn about people, how they operate, how they think, how you can build a connection with them, how you can build trust with them, how you can, learn more about them, display authority, the better you get at building a genuine, strong connection with the person in front of you, the better you get at letting them know, like, and trust you, the easier it's going to be for you to close deals. Your empathy, your ability to understand them, your ability to learn a little bit about them so that you can spit back an analogy that resonates deep within them. All of these things are huge. That's the first thing. The second thing you can really just do on a daily, weekly, very consistent basis is listen to good calls. Give yourself positive reinforcement. A lot of people, what they do is they listen to the bad. They constantly are listening to calls where they messed up, looking for ways they can improve, which is good. You want to definitely improve things. But the problem is, if you're always listening to the times you messed up, you're always listening to your bad calls, you're always listening to theory of what you should do to improve, rather than just listening to what the good looks like, you're going to fill your memory, fill your subconscious with the bad. And when you get into those sales calls and you want to enter flow state and you're just, spitting off the top of your head, it's going to be what's the bigger chunk of your memory. It's going to be what your body remembers the most. It's going to be what you have the most muscle memory in, which in those cases will be the bad. You can do a lot of mental training by listening to what's good over and over again, so that when you're in a call and you're in the moment, instead of having to really dig deep and think about what to say, you'll be able to naturally just pull it from memory because it's so ingrained in you what a good call sounds like, what a good objection handle sounds like. What good is just natural to you because you hear it so much. You know what it looks like, you know what it sounds like, you know what it feels like. So yes, listen to where you need to improve, pick a couple things, work on them, but the majority of your time needs to be spent listening to what is good, listening to calls that were crushed, listening to good jobs. And lastly is the mock calls. And everyone knows mock calls, you're going to get good, you're going to practice things that you want to improve on. But the way you practice mock calls is super important. A lot of people, what they do is they get their call reviewed, they get a whole bunch of feedback, and they try to just overhaul the entirety of the call right away. They get frustrated. They're not, like, it's just a struggle for them to get there. It's just not good. It's not easy for them to immediately just go from 5 different things they got to work on in the call to perfecting them all on the next call. The easiest way I found for closers, appointment setters to improve systematically is to pick one thing to implement at a time. So when you're on your calls, you're going to say, okay, whoever your sales manager, if you're in my community and it's me reviewing your calls, whoever it is, get one key piece of feedback, one thing that you want to focus on for the next 10, 20 mock calls, 30 mock calls, as much as possible. and master it. If it's like, hey, I'm really, really bad at my discovery, I'm not good at digging in and finding the problem, I'm going to work on that all week. Then once that's good, that's ingrained in you, you don't even have to think about it. It's second nature. Then you move on to maybe your ability to dig in and find their goals. Maybe you move on to your pitch. Maybe you move on to your framing of the call. Maybe you move on to how you handle one specific objection. And you're going to get so good doing that, doing each thing 10,000 times, one at a time, taking it slow, understanding that this is going to be a process rather than like, hey, I know I got to work on my frame. I got to handle this objection better. I got to work on my discovery. I got to work on my presentation. On the next call, I'm going to smash all of these things. And then you wonder why they're all kind of mediocre instead of really mastering. Like, don't be afraid to practice just the frame 100 times, then practice just the pitch 100 times, then practice just handling that one objection 100 times, because 90% of it, it's not about knowing what to say. So many people think it's about knowing what to say. It's about the energy you exude while you say it. Are you comfortable? Are you calm? Are you cool, collected? Do you seem like an authority? Are they sitting in front of someone and saying, you know what? They're helping me navigate my concerns, and they seem just very at peace with it, so they seem trustworthy. I can move forward with them. All of that stuff's important. The how you say it is so huge. And you can have all the great fancy lines when you're handling objections, but say it timidly and they're never going to work. So those three things: build your ability to connect with people. That's a lifelong thing. Constantly get better at building deeper connections, better analogies, learning about people, learning about psychology, learning about how people think and what motivates them. Listening to what's good. Our brains can't really tell the difference between actual lived memory and what we think about and what we imagine. So constantly fill your imagination with what's good. Constantly picture good calls. Constantly listen to good calls. Feed your mind with it so that you can pull from it without even thinking. You just enter flow state. Like in sports, you just did a cool move, you don't know how you did it. Same thing in sales. You said the right thing with the right tonality, you don't know how you did it, but it's because you listened to it 100 times. And pick one thing at a time when you're trying to improve your mock calls. Don't listen every single day over and over and over again and say, I suck at this, I suck at this, I suck at this. Pick one thing for the week, master it, get good at it, reinforce the good. Pick another bad, master it, get good at it, reinforce the good. Constantly go through that cycle and you will get really, really good at sales. That's all I got. If you want to get into high ticket sales and you want to learn what this industry is about, how to find the best companies to partner with and actually get them to hire you, how to develop the sales skills needed to be successful, work completely remotely while making a full-time 6-figure plus income for yourself, I developed Closer College to help you with just that. For you right now, if you click the link below, you're actually going to see a completely free trial to join the community. All you have to do is say maybe, check it out, and you're going to have access to all the training, all the support needed for you to get into high ticket sales and start working completely remote. Click below or simply just go to closercollege.com and check it out.